Hey there, and welcome to the show. I am so glad you're here today because today we're going to talk about something that nobody in real estate really wants to admit out loud, but we're all feeling it. We're going to talk about the cost of transaction chaos. All right. Now, I know you're probably thinking, oh, I've got chaos under control. Yeah, I'm busy. Sure, I'm stressed, but that's just part of the job, right? Wrong. And today I want to show you exactly what that chaos is costing you, not only in dollars, but in health and in the life that you actually want to be living. All right, so let me paint a picture for you, okay? It's 9 o'clock on a Tuesday night. You're sitting at your kitchen table, you have your laptop open, you're trying to remember if you sent that appraisal contingency reminder to your buyer. Your spouse walks by and gives you that look, and you know the one I'm talking about, the are you seriously working again look. So your phone buzzes and it's a client. They're asking about something that you've already explained twice. You can feel your chest tighten. You can feel that just frustrated, anxious feeling. Does that sound familiar to you? Well, what a lot of agents don't realize is that transaction chaos, it's not just annoying, it is literally costing you money, it is costing you time, it is costing you your freedom, it is costing you your work-life balance that you want. And I want to break this down for you today. So first, there's the obvious stuff, okay? You might have some missed deadlines that's going to cost your clients money, which means they're obviously not referring you or referring anyone to you. And that delayed closing, that can push your commission check to the next month, when you had already budgeted for this month. So there are also errors, the errors that require you to hire somebody else to fix them, or worse, they may even expose you to a liability. But here's where it gets really expensive, and that is every time you have to stop what you're doing to put out a fire. And let's be honest, like, how many times a day do you have to stop what you're doing to put out a fire, or to search through your email for a document, or to remember what you were supposed to do next? You're losing what economists call switching costs. And studies show that it actually takes an average of 23 minutes to fully refocus after an interruption. 23 minutes. That's almost half an hour to fully regain that focus after you were interrupted by something so simple, so minute, cost you 23 minutes. So let's do the math. If you are interrupted 10 times a day, and let's be honest, it's probably more than that, you are losing almost 4 hours of productive time. 4 hours. That is half of your workday spent trying to remember what you were doing. Okay, now I want to talk about the opportunity cost, because this is a big one that nobody calculates. Every transaction that you are doing manually, every email that you are typing from scratch, every deadline that you're tracking, or I hope you're tracking, but you're doing it in your head, that's time you're not spending on revenue generating activities. You know what I mean? Like, you could be on listing appointments. You could be calling your sphere. You could be creating content. You could be building relationships. You could be out showing houses. You could be out, you could be doing 1,000 other things, but you are drowning in admin tasks. So here's a question I want to ask you. I want you to ask yourself right now, how many transactions could you realistically handle if you had systems in place? Now, I'm not talking about hope. I'm not talking about hustle. I'm talking about actual systems, actual tools. Because most agents tell me that they're maxed out at like 10 or 12 transactions at a time. But when agents have the proper systems, they're comfortable handling 20, 30, 40 transactions. Now, I myself am a transaction coordinator. I have the proper systems in place. I have the actual systems, the actual tools. I can handle 85 to 100 any given month and still be comfortable. Okay. Yeah, it gets a little hectic sometimes, but the way that I have the system set up, the tools set up, the processes set up, and I have everything streamlined to be as easy and efficient as possible, I can still handle 85 to 100 transactions and still not work more than 40 hours a week. So Let's say that your average commission is $3,000. All right. So if you could handle just 10 more transactions per year, because you had the time to actually prospect, to actually do those relationship building activities instead of being buried in transaction management and admin tasks, that's $30,000 per year every year. But okay, we're not finished. It gets worse. I want to talk now about the hidden health cost, the stress, the anxiety, the Sunday scaries, knowing that Monday is coming and you're already behind. Those tension headaches, the poor sleep, the neck pain, the back pain, the weight gain from stress eating, the no time to exercise, the relationships that are suffering because you're always working, you're always distracted, you're always on your phone, you're always carrying your laptop around. Your kids, they want you to be there, they want you to be present. You can't be because you're constantly working. Your spouse wants you to be there. You want to be there. I mean, obviously you want to be there with your kids and your spouse and your family, but you can't because you are constantly distracted. You're constantly working. You're constantly overwhelmed and stressed and anxious and constantly feeling behind. Okay. There is a study that said that chronic stress costs the average American over $2,000 a year in healthcare costs alone. Now, let's be real. If you're in real estate, which I'm assuming that you all are, your stress levels are probably higher than average. I'll just go out on a limb and guess they're higher than average. But the kicker is all that chaos, it is absolutely, completely preventable. And I'm not talking about, working any less. I'm not talking about working less hard. Like you can still work hard, but I'm talking about working smarter. I'm talking about building systems that do the heavy lifting for you. Okay. So if you think about it, like when you get in your car, you don't manually calculate your route every single time, right? I mean, that would be crazy. You use a GPS and it's going to tell you where to go, when to turn. It warns you about the traffic, warns you about, all kinds of stuff. Well, transaction management, it should work the same way. So you should have those systems that are going to tell you what to do next. They're going to remind you of the deadlines before they sneak up on you. They're going to automate those repetitive tasks that are eating away at your day. So here's what I want you to do. After you finish listening to this episode, I want you to grab a piece of paper or open the note app on your phone or whatever. Grab a receipt. I'm sure you're in your car, driving down the road listening to this. Grab something to write on. And I want you to calculate 3 things. Number 1, I want you to calculate how much time do you spend per week on admin tasks that could be automated. Now, what are admin tasks? This could be email writing, deadline tracking, client updates, vendor coordination. It could even be, it can't be inputting documents, I guess, because that is an admin task, but that's going to be something that you need to hire somebody for. So be honest with yourself and calculate how much time do you spend per week on those admin tasks that could be automated. And it's probably going to be a lot more than you think. Number 2, I want you to ask yourself, how many transactions did you turn away or not pursue this year because you were at your capacity? And then multiply that by your average commission check. That's going to be your opportunity cost. And then lastly, number 3, what would your life look like if you had even just 10 extra hours per week? Would you spend it with your family? Would you take care of your health? Would you grow your business even more? Would you be able to go on vacation? Would you be able to, maybe do the things that you want to do that you can't do right now because you're overworking? What would you do with an extra 10 hours a week? And I want you to write all these things down because that's what's possible when you stop tolerating the chaos and start building the systems. And here's the truth. You didn't get into real estate to be a glorified admin assistant, right? You got into it for the freedom, for the income, to help people with one of the biggest transactions in their life. But somehow along the way, the transactions have started managing you instead of you managing them. But the good news is that you can fix this. Not someday, not next year when things slow down. They're never going to slow down. You can fix this starting today. All right. Now, in the next few episodes, I'm going to show you exactly how to build the systems that are going to transform your business and your life. But for now, I want you to sit with this. I want you to really calculate what that chaos is costing you. Because when you can see it clearly, then you can't unsee it. Like, it's going to be there. It's going to be in the back of your mind. And that's when real change can happen. So I want to thank you so much for listening today. If this resonated with you, take a screenshot, share it on your Instagram story, LinkedIn. You can tag me on LinkedIn so I can reshare it wherever. Make sure you follow the podcast so you can get updates and tips and tricks every Thursday. And if you are ready to stop the chaos and start building systems that actually work, stick around because we've got so much more coming your way. I'll see you in the next episode.